Look out on your commute for this USA.gov traffic. Looks like people are visiting this website to see if we can still find the Constitution. For your weather, it's a balmy 666 degrees outside. By popular listener request, here is Our Lady of Conspiracy.
9/11. Mole people. Pizzagate. Benghazi. Pyramids. UFOs. Bigfoot. Big feet.
Before we hop in, I am going to talk about my weekend, but I do want to let the listeners know that I'm going to be talking about how birds aren't real, and I'm going to be talking about the bird drones.
Ooh, I'm off. See, I'm off that. I'm in a big bird lovers kind of time in my life, so we'll have to battle on that.
Well, I'm going to take you on a journey through that segment because you're going to start hating birds, and then you're going to end by loving white men.
Okay, well we don't have to. We can skip to the end. I already know the ending there. Okay. Birds rule.
So, but first, before we move into my segment about birds and whatever you have for the class, I have to tell you that I shot a gun for the first time yesterday. Did you see the photo?
No, but that's incredible. So
it was like
it changed you, didn't it? It was a transformative experience. You're like, all these things rule.
Well, yes, it was really scary. I've always been pro-gun, even though I'm a dirty liberal.
No, you're an American. You're a patriot at heart.
Yeah, I am a patriot
at
heart.
Really a patriot, but I'm using that term loosely, obviously. But yeah, no, you're a true American.
Mm-hmm. And I do think like queer people should arm themselves.
For sure.
Like if we live in a country that a bunch of people have guns, it shouldn't just be conservatives that have them. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, because the markers and the fucking paintbrushes aren't gonna kill anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So got them. All right.
So I mean, I'm a big booby trap girl myself. Like I'm always going to be booby trap first, gun second. However,
you're like Home Alone, like Micro Machines and like paint cans coming down the stairs. Is it things that will electrocute and turn a guy into a skeleton?
Yeah, a lot of tripwires, a lot of snares, a lot of corpses hanging from trees where you didn't expect them to be.
Where did he learn that?
I know, right? Wasn't the
operatives? Kevin McAllister definitely was an asset, dude. He was anyway. All right.
It was a Magnum 357.
Whoa, that's a big time first gun to be shooting.
Do you know what that is?
Yes.
It's insane. I didn't know you knew anything about guns. What's your stance?
Have a bunch of them. And but no, that's the one that like Clint Eastwood has. He's like,
it's fucking huge.
That's what Dirty Harry has. It's almost an unnecessary amount of power in that gun.
Although I'm glad it's what I started with, because if I can shoot that, I can shoot anything. My arm still hurts.
It's scary, the kickback. I know that's a tough one.
And it's so loud. Yeah, I couldn't really aim with it, obviously, because it was so bad, but I would like to work my way up to that.
So you just shot into the ether?
We went to a gun range.
Okay.
And the guy that checked us in and like got us our bullets and showed me how to use a gun and all that.
And shared his manifesto with you. Yeah, they always have a manifesto.
He shared his manifesto.
That they pass along. It's like, all right, here's the safety rules and here's a little pamphlet that I'll just check it out. Let me know.
This top layer is a pocket constitution, and then under it is where I've added my notes.
And here's a little drawing there, right to bear arms. He's got bare arms. He's like,
and that stick figure is Hillary. Crooked Hillary right there. You can tell by how the stick's crooked.
See, if you see all children's faces, they're all she already ate them. And there's he has like a very complex, but it's a very bad drawing and stick figures, but it's very complex and one. All right, anyway.
So he was the last person in the infantry in the U.S. Army to be trained on a revolver. So he like knew a lot about revolvers because he used them at fucking war. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you sure he wasn't stealing valor?
He could have been. I wouldn't have known.
A gun autist can steal valor very easily because they know all the stuff. But
he was totally a gun autist, and he like held my back, and he was shorter than me, and he was like holding my arm, and I was like, "I'm scared. I want to stop," and he's like, "You can do it."
That's nice, though.
It was
usually
so
those guys
cool.
are very scary and off-putting, and they're watching to see if anybody's. Usually, those guys are just waiting for somebody to infiltrate the said gun range so they can open fire. That's really the energy I've always got in every gun range I've ever been in. Was like, everybody there is waiting for a bad guy.
He's like, "Thank God, finally, we've been breached. I can let him loose."
He's asking for people's passports and stuff. It's like, dude, I'm from San Antonio. Like, I'm not a terrorist.
Yeah, when we go back, I'm gonna do the Magnum again, but I also want to try a rifle. So I'm just gonna try like the big guns.
Might as well. You need to get like a switch on it. You need to go really just young gangster and just gotta get it like a switch, a fully automatic.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I want to not be scared to use it if I have to. And so, you know what
obviously
I mean?
yeah, for sure. The tiny little girl guns are sick as hell that you can just
They're
put in
so
your
cute.
purse or you put in your or you can like yeah, those are you should definitely you should open carry honestly.
Well, I am gonna go get my license
No,
in
open
a couple
carry. Like you're
months.
always just
So
carrying, just walking around with a rifle, like one of those, like the auditors.
I do, I want the pink pearl, face on a little,
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
the
that's the
Dolly Parton
move.
model.
hmm
That's sick
Although
as
my mom told me a story, I'm gonna out her and then we'll get to your weekend. But when she was younger, I think my grandparents were drug dealers because they had guns all over the house all the time and they like owned a bar in Wimberley and like they had all this
that's
money,
sick
but
as
they didn't
hell.
work. So like I'm starting to put the pieces together. I think there was some going on there. But
Cause yeah,
anyway,
they had a seem to have a whole lot of extra Werthers lying around. They must have had some extra cash.
well, my mom was like 15 and she was in their room just like playing with a gun, like trying to get it to where she
Mm,
could spin it and hold it. And
yeah.
she had it right next to her chin and she was gonna like pretend to shoot herself and she accidentally did. But the kickback like threw it away from her chin and she shot through the wall and the neighbors called the
Holy
cops on her.
shit.
Isn't that scary? And now that I know how loud a gun is, I'm like, fuck, like she was 15 when she did that on accident.
I did something like, well, I didn't do that. I would never put a gun up to my face and pull the trigger unless I meant it, you know? When I bought mine, I was like, I think I was doing a bit. I was doing a bit, but I was doing it like, hey, everybody, shut the fuck up. I'll fire a warning round off. And I squeezed the trigger and it actually shot. I had one in the chamber that I just didn't. I was new to guns and I didn't even think about the one in the chamber. I was like, oh. And everybody was like, what the fuck? I said, shut up. But yeah, it wasn't great.
You killed a guy? Is that when you killed
Yeah,
a guy?
a guy did die for sure. And yeah, guns are honestly, you just sit there when it's like in your house, you look at it, you kind of get every once in a while you'll get sick and twisted Joker thoughts. And you're like, I'm just sick and twisted. I got a weapon, and it's scary. You're
Yeah.
like, it's like scary to be in the presence of it. And
I
then,
was
but
really
also it's very
surprised.
empowering. Every once in a while, I'd hear any kind of tiny little noise in the middle of the night, and I'm just walking around with a fully loaded 9mm, just ready, like just pretty fun times. And yeah, I shot another guy. So the main man.
Yeah,
Yeah, shot
what's so
guns.
funny about that is like rule number one when you're going to get your license is don't do a bit.
Yeah. I like yeah, immediately drop it and shot one through the shot a round through my dresser and through the roof. So it was pretty sick, pretty sick. And I look like an absolute fool in front of my friends. So they obviously don't trust me with a firearm, but they shouldn't. So that's fair. So all right, yeah, gun safety, I love it. Yeah. So
And it
yep.
is funny. It's funny how loud they are. Like if I actually did have to like get that magnum out of the drawer and shoot somebody with it without ear protection, like I would go
Yeah,
deaf.
you'd miss and they'd be like, ow, and they're just holding their ears. And you get them vertigo or something. You just don't hit them with the bullet. But, I got my ears. Like, yeah, idiot. Gotcha. God,
Anyway,
we're so Second Amendment.
I know this. Welcome to Our Lady of Conspiracy, a conservative conspiracy
So yeah,
podcast.
y'all thought you said these two pussies. You thought you were gonna come rob our house and take all of our. Well, we don't really have anything, but if you wanted to take some of our valuables, some of my if you needed some T-shirts and you were gonna rob me, well, guess again because I got a weapon. So all right.
Well, anyway,
So I didn't shoot any weapons. No, I didn't throw. I tried to go throw some axes. Have you ever done that? I was just kidding. I didn't. I obviously didn't go, but that's
I obviously canceled at the last minute.
yeah.
I
It
don't
was
even know
sold
why I
out.
said
They're
that.
all the Vikings in town were there. It's like who goes to that Vikings
Oh yeah, Vikings do throw axes.
and
That's
then
funny.
guys who are real into like craft cocktails, like mixologists. I
Well,
feel
when
like
I went to the
I feel like they would like to throw axes as well, where they're little
That's
aprons.
really funny that you say that because you're right. Craft cocktail guys love rage rooms and axe throwing.
I can
They
get
have
down
a
with a rage
lot.
room. I could pop off in a rage room as long as I get access to that. If I get the playlist,
We should go.
if I can put like the music on,
We have to go.
my murder songs. Oh, that actually would be therapeutic.
Yeah, let's go. But at the St. Julian's Renaissance Festival where I read tarot, they had a portable axe throwing thing, like a carnival game. It was insane.
Well, that's kind. I mean, I could see it in that within
You
that
know what I
framework.
just
That's kind of fun. I mean, I'm more of a like throw the little like the dart at the balloon or something. But if you want to throw axes, that's cool.
I know it's like it's pretty. I mean, the handles are lighter, I think,
But
than regular axes, so it's easier to throw. But it's still pretty intense.
I mean, are they
That
real? I mean,
you're,
could you kill a guy if you just turned around and just been like, maybe
Mhm.
get the carny with it?
Yeah, people were drunk. Like it is kind of medieval feeling.
I like that's a good energy. If you just have some weapons around, that's what the Renaissance festivals are. Just a little bit better than normal carnivals because people have swords.
That's a great point.
So.
Do you have any conspiracy theories that you want to talk about with me before I start going in on bird
I mean,
drones?
well, I mean, I just wanted to. I've been maybe dispel. Can I dispel a conspiracy theory? Is that allowed on this show?
Yeah, I actually have done that like 4 times since we started.
You're
So
like, actually, everything you've said, I've had a counterpoint and actually debunked literally everything you said. Okay. Well, I would like to. Let me see. Where's my notes? I've seen a bunch of content lately on really drumming up the we didn't go to the moon talk. And I think those people are just really stupid. And I would just
So you're about to prove the moon landing without a shadow of a doubt.
with I mean, as much as I can. I mean,
Okay.
there's a few things I think that are kind of it's kind of hard to debunk. I mean, just so wait. Do you think we went to the moon?
I do think that we went to the moon, but if like NASA came out and said we didn't, like I would believe it. Like it's not something that I'm so like, oh, it's crazy that there's a conspiracy about the moon. Like, wasn't it Cold War era propaganda anyway?
I mean, it was the start of it, but the space race was definitely a big. I mean, no, but I think getting to the that's kind of was more important of it. And actually, that's a reason. That's one of the reasons why it's real because Russia was literally watching our every move, and if we faked that, they would have aired us. They would have aired us out instantly.
Okay, that's a good point.
Okay, so here, this is quick, and then you can get in your. What got you fired up on birds?
I'll let you know when I'm talking about them.
All right, well, all right. I met a nice crow earlier, and he was very friendly. Okay, so
Is he the one that told you about the moon landing?
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did inform me. He was like, "They're all wrong. This is correct." And then he brought me some sort of shiny little thing, and I said, "Here's some peanuts or whatever they eat." I would like to. Truth be told, I would like to train a murder of crows to. You can, and they could to be my like loyal like. I'd kind of be like a three-eyed raven guy from the Game of Thrones, but I'd just have real
I could
crows.
see that for you. I
I'd
could totally see that
send
for you.
like I did no more texts. I'd just have my crows send it. I'd have them carry me from room to room, just like as many birds as it would take to lift me just slightly off the ground. Would be pretty tight. But I'll get
That's actually how we got to the moon. That's the conspiracy.
that. Yeah.
Someone got on the back of a bunch of birds.
Hey, no, but we don't know how space works. Okay, so so you don't you're indifferent on it. But see the thing that I don't know, I think it's just the thing that infuriates me about it is that it's the same points over and over again, and it's well, I guess it's a conspiracy theory, so always it's going to be ill-informed and just repeating stuff. Like the first thing that I always hear is he was talking to President Nixon live. Like that was unheard of technology in the 60s. We had already set up a deep space satellite. We had a whole setup. I mean, satellite television was invented that same year. So people like to think that like he was on a rotary phone, like talking to the operator who sent it up. No, it was like patched through radio signals, through satellites, through deep space satellites. And it was just we had that technology. So I don't know. I don't know.
You know what's so funny about that? And this is why I love like moon landing, Kennedy assassination, center of the earth, stuff like that. Because it makes sense to me in the society that I live in now that satellite TV would have been invented the same year as the moon landing, and a bunch of American citizens wouldn't know that and wouldn't believe it because we're idiots.
For sure. Yes, I'm finding out that more often than not, that is the case with a lot of these things. That it's just people not choosing not to either they're either ignoring it or they're just choosing not to, to look it up. And that goes with a lot of flat Earth stuff. There's like actual science that fully debunks it about the curvature
Well, think
of the
about
Earth.
this. If you, in order to learn that, you have to listen to the nerdiest Punisher you know. You're not going to listen to a nerd.
But I feel like they want. No, that's true. That's a good point. But all they want to do is get to the bottom of it. But I don't see. That's why I think it's continues to be one of the best bits of all time that nobody actually really thinks it's flat. But
Okay.
that's not true, because the moron I always make fun of that built the rocket and blew up in space. He's like, he was smart enough to blow up a rocket, but thought to build a rocket and fly up into the atmosphere, but
Then it blew up and he died. Yeah.
but thought the Earth was flat. And so what an idiot! What a smart idiot. Okay, well here's just a few quick points, and you can get on to your beak speak. Okay,
Good
so
call.
there was like over 800 something tons of moon rocks that they brought back that have been scientifically verified by all sorts of scientists all over the world, not just ours, even from countries that are enemies of ours. So and moon rocks have a very specific scientific and chemical makeup, and that's just we have moon rocks that we literally brought back from the moon. So where did those come from? There's that.
Okay.
We also
Point for NASA on that one.
Thank you, scientists are celebrating all over the world. We also, when we put these big mirrors on the moons, and that we continue to use today to shoot lasers off of, so they can calculate the exact distance based on where we are in the, in orbit.
That's such a cool science factoid. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they continue to use it to this day. So yeah, those are on the moon. Also, so yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff. Also, then there's just this just supplemental facts. Like, do you know how many people worked on the Apollo missions? How many employees?
A lot, like over 1,000.
Way over 1,000. 400,000 people worked on the
Wow.
Apollo missions. That is I'm sorry, I don't care what your big conspiracy is. You're not getting, somebody's going to fucking fuck that up if you're really trying to keep a lie together. So
on that note.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I was just like, so yeah, so that, I mean, that alone, there's no way. That's always been my big thing, was just like, it's too big of a conspiracy, and there's other countries, and it would not work. That's always been my thing. Kind of like you knew about the black holes. I've always known about the moon, even though I've had my ups and downs. I've had my ups and downs with the moon itself, but I do believe we went there. We went
That's
there.
a tumultuous relationship.
Why haven't we gone back? Well, we went 6 times, and it's the same barren piece of shit, garbage floating rock that steals the sun's light. And we were like, we don't need to go back. We went 7 times. So, yeah, and then other than that, people like to talk about the footage. If you look at the footage, it's actually, there's no stars. And no dust moves. You can actually see, so with no stars, that means the exposure was set like it was shot in daylight, which would line up. You wouldn't see stars based on how the cameras work. And we did have the radio technology. We didn't have any kind of CGI to fake that. We went there, and it was very laborious and very hard fuel wise, and difficult to get there, and for not too much going on in return. And then lastly, you can look these up. There you can. I guess this is where the conspiracy theorists they get out of having to cop to something, because they'll say the pictures are fake, but you can see the tracks on the exact place of where we landed and where we did our stuff. We planted the flag. I just don't. You can look at it like with a telescope and go look at the moon and see the flag. Like that alone, like what? Okay, I rest my case. So I don't know. So stuff on that are words that I wanted to scream, but I won't, just out of respect for you and for the listeners.
Hey, I love a good debunking.
So, I mean, I know that's not as fun, and I've been trying to get to the bottom of 9/11, and there's some. I'm gonna tell you this, and then we'll get to the birds. Something's afoot. Something's up there. So.
Something's afoot in the moon.
No, 9/11.
Oh.
And it wasn't an inside job. I think it was an outside job. And we'll get to that maybe later on in the episode. Okay.
Have you seen Nazis on the Dark Side of the Moon?
No, that's China has the Dark Side of the Moon. And Pink Floyd. They share it.
They split it
Yeah,
50-50.
China's had a full-blown, like, just 20 million people living there for quite some time. And then Pink Floyd, yeah, they're just the bunch of dirty hippies are dancing around singing to whatever, The Wall or whatever.
Yeah, there's like Woodstock always happening over there, and then over here is just communism.
Yeah, China hates it. And there's some lonely China boys. Okay, I shouldn't say China boys, but that are wandering into the Pink Floyd part. And it's being, so there's some moon politics that we can get into another time, but.
Yeah, moon landing's real, and there's some other stuff going on the moon.
And the moon steals the sun's light, and we're kind of sick of it doing that. And it, comes out during the daytime. We can't trust it. Stuff like that. Okay, the floor is yours, my lady.
Okay, so there is a movie, one more note on the moon. I think it's called Capricorn 1.
Okay.
And in the movie, they posit that they're about to do the rocket launching to like go to Mars or whatever, the moon or into space. It's like a movie from the 70s.
Okay.
And the astronauts get on the rocket ship.
And they're wearing bell bottoms.
They're wearing bell bottoms. They have afros.
It's Burt Reynolds.
And then someone like pulls them out of sight and they go into this big room, and this man has a conversation with them saying like, hey, we can't go to the moon right now because it's not safe. And
True,
facts. You four astronauts are the only people that can know about this. So only the four astronauts know, but even the people in the room that are like watching launch, like they think that it's really happening. I think it actually came out way after the moon landing, obviously, but
see, that'd
anyway.
be that's something but still that the rumors have been perpetuating for quite some time. But
it was so boring. I couldn't even get to the end. I don't know how it ended. They probably just killed them all.
No, it was Stanley Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick couldn't pull that off, you bitches. But I like that. I do like that's a good conspiracy, because I mean that's a big deal if we're just like, no, we didn't do it. But yeah, with all the other Russia watching us and all the other countries, and it just being a USA thing and not a world thing, like there's other astronaut space programs and stuff. The India did fake it though. I don't know if you saw them fake theirs. Did you see it?
I saw a clip of it.
I mean, I don't want to disparage our good friends in India, but they were distracted by Bobs and Vagines and they couldn't. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
Before we get to the birds, have you heard of Pig Night?
You're yelling.
I'm because Pig Night. It's just a random fact. That at the Playboy Mansion every Thursday they would have Pig Night, and it was where famous actors and politicians and powerful people just went over there and they could just fuck whores without worrying about being busted, and that's a long-term thing until Hef died. So, but it was called Pig Night every week. So, all right.
Thanks for that. I'm about to celebrate Pig Night myself.
I love it. I live in a perpetual Pig Night, but I love anything called Pig Night. I had to.
Pig Night's every night in this house.
Yeah, I'm about to roll around in my slop. I can tell you that. Okay.
Okay. Birds. Speaking of pigs. So, have you heard that birds are drones?
Yeah, I remember I have that shirt I bought that shirt before the birds, and you informed me that I have a T-shirt that's about the drones, and I thought it just was listing nice birds, and you're like, no, this is a conspiracy shirt. I was like, oh.
I love that shirt. Also, we have to post that online for everybody to see. But
yeah, I should. I didn't know you were doing birds. I would have worn it.
I didn't want to tell you I was doing birds because I didn't want you to Google it before I had a chance to tell you.
This was one of the ones that I hear this and I immediately chalked it up to being an annoying bit that people are doing online. Like
and the reason that I'm looking it up is because my boyfriend and I, the amazing Kazemi, are planning a bird act.
Oh,
so
no.
we'll be.
Hold on, we do need to we got to get into this before we get into what?
We're planning a bird act because he's a magician, as you know, and I'm a singer.
For sure.
So we have, right now, do you want to hear about the act so far?
I need every last detail, down to the choreography, down to the outfits, down to what numbers we're doing. Please give me everything, and then we'll get into the conspiracy.
Well, the birds are a small part of it.
Okay.
But
that's not really a bird act then, is it, if they're a small part of it?
We're gonna get pigeons and
Okay.
kind of handle them like we would doves because dove handling is like already a part of magic.
But they don't fly away.
And
They just like scatter around on the ground instead of you try to release them. They just all run around. Anyway.
and for the act, I'm a mime unless I'm singing. So
Okay.
I mime time the whole time
And then you're
until
like,
I do a song.
but I'm not a mime now. I'm singing. You have to tell them, but I'm not a mime anymore. Then you start singing.
But I'm not a mime now because I'm singing.
That's actually pretty fun. That's actually funny if you did actually literally say. It's like you have to do legally. It's entrapment if you don't announce that you're no longer a mime and you speak before you speak.
Yeah, they teach you that in clown school. They're like,
Yeah,
if
because I
you
mean,
just start talking without warning, like you're out, brother.
yeah, nobody's gonna be able to hear you. You have to. It's kind of very similar to how you have to say that you came to bring the funk before you bring the funk. It's kind of similar. Like you can't.
Yeah.
You got to
How
say
else is anyone
you're
gonna know?
yeah, you are either a mime or you're not a mime, and that's how they know how you're communicating. So, all right, so a bird act. I can't wait to hear more as this develops.
And I do burlesque from a pigeon costume at the end, as we know.
This sounds insane, and I can't
Yeah.
wait to see it.
He can juggle birds, which I
And
think is really hot.
he's gonna juggle birds. You're gonna be dressed like a pigeon mime, singing. What are you song you can sing?
I have a set.
Okay.
I have a few different songs that I'm singing.
When doves cry, but it's gonna be pigeons. That'd be good.
Oh, Dove's Cry is a good one. Yeah, I'm open to notes for sure. Like
I'm like a bird. I wanna fly away. I don't know where my soul is.
well, I do sing Love Potion number 9
That's very bird like.
while I'm doing a bubble act where I like, have you seen bubble magic? Anyway.
Bubble magic? No, I mean I've been to a children's birthday party. What is bubble act? What is bubble magic? I'm not being disrespectful. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You like build bubbles up and like make them do fun stuff with
Oh, that's
different
tight.
kinds of, yeah.
So it's like
So you
somebody
can
that
like dance with them and make them into shapes and put them around your body and stuff like that.
so just somebody that it's like a person that has a vape and makes smoke rings and does smoke drinks.
I will be vaping into the bubbles. Yeah, that's like
It's a bubble vapor. You're a bubble vapor. Okay.
that's the first thing you learn at bubble school is how to blow your vape cloud into a bubble.
Hey, yeah, you know what? I could never do the bubble gum. I was very upset by that I could never make it into a bubble.
That's sad. I'm sorry about that.
And the kids called me gay because of it. No, they didn't. I called them gay because they could do it. All right.
Anyway,
Okay.
birds are drones, and the reason you've never seen a baby pigeon is
I've
because
seen a
all
baby
pigeons
pigeon.
are robots.
Okay.
And when birds are quote unquote flying south for the winter or
Mm-hmm.
flying north for the winter from the solar hemisphere or whatever, southern hemisphere, they are actually being switched out at their facilities that are on the equator.
Mm-hmm.
They have charging coils on their feet, which is why they're always on electric lines because they're charging their robotic internal
Okay.
organs.
So can we trust gang members' shoes then? Is that also a spy?
And then they do have microphones, cameras, and they have an antenna in the back of their head, which sends the data to the data centers.
Yeah. And they still just one question: do they still have bone knives for mouths?
It depends.
Okay, that's one thing that's just bothered me that they have their beaks are just they're just they're bone knives.
It
Very
depends
scary.
on the bird. And when they poop on stuff, what they're doing is they're planting a tracking mechanism on like your car or your shoes.
Mm-hmm. And
So
giving you good luck apparently.
during the year of the Birds Are Drones, people reported seeing a van that had Birds Are Drones on it with
Mm-hmm.
satellite dishes on top and all of the lore. There was an hour, like a part 2 hour, like ancient alien style video of experts talking about how birds are drones.
Okay.
And then eventually, after like they found the leaked emails that were like confirming that there were actually federal drones that looked like birds
For sure.
and uncovering like a 50-year-long history, a bunch of newscasters were talking about how like this van is traveling. There's a billboard that says birds are drones. There were people rallying all over the country. This
I
guy
hate this
comes
so
out.
much. I hate this so much. This is who came up with this? Who started this?
His first name's Peter, and he
Did
comes
he
out
start it on
saying,
Vine? Did this start on Vine? It feels like it's something that would start on Vine.
so he comes out as saying that he made up the conspiracy. He forged all the documents. He had him and his friends do the video. He bought the billboard. He did the van, and he
Great
was
bit, Peter.
just for 4 years, he spent his life in character as
This is
the
the
leader,
This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
as the leader of the Birds Are Drones movement,
And
which
I bought a
he
T-shirt at a Goodwill, thinking I'm gonna burn that tonight.
keep it, it's so good. But what ended up happening was a lot of people did believe the conspiracy. What he reveals as a part of his press campaign around coming out as not actually being the leader of Birds Are Drones is that he grew up in a conservative Christian family
Oh, okay.
around
I'm back.
people. Yeah. So he was like doing what they do, which is making shit up and building a movement around it. And
He has a
then,
message behind it. He's not just being a silly goose. No pun intended. This is upsetting.
yeah, I knew that you would hate this so much.
I truly do. I mean, this is.
So
I
he,
knew it was something like this.
I know, and isn't that kind of like traumatizing? But anyway, people got pretty into it there, and it kind of aligned with COVID, so there was like a lot of time for people to think about how birds are drones. But
That's fun. I mean, it's as a fun little bit. I'm kind of for it. I'm sort of for it. But as a message about growing up in a conservative household, is it beyond? I mean, it drives me up a fucking wall. Oh,
I mean, honestly, that might have been an afterthought for him. Like he made it the whole point when he was done with it, but you don't spend 4 years in character if you have like, you know what I mean? Like he had
what is
something else
in
going on.
character? Just posting. Yeah, he's a schizophrenic, possibly some sort of. But he's just posting online about it, and they're just like, "Oh, Peter's posting about the birds again." Kind of like my moon bit, but much worse.
And like organizing the protests and
And
buying the billboard,
I mean, I
decking out
guess.
the van, you know,
I mean, but see, I wish it was just something more. See, I've been a part
doing
of
interviews,
I've been
making
a
the
part of something
documentary.
similar, but it was so much sicker when we created the Ted Cruz of the Zodiac Killer. That was a good bit.
Mm,
That was a good one. That's
hmm.
fun and real.
That is a good
And
one.
actually, he actually was the guy. He was the guy. But I just
And
don't.
birds really are drones,
But
but
I just don't. I just don't understand. It's just not. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm unfunny, and this is probably on me. It's definitely a me problem, but I just don't understand it.
well, I was surprised because, you know, I listen to all of these podcasts about debunking stuff and I'm always reading about like, you know, the dangers of conspiracy, blah, blah, blah. And I still, when I came across the birds or drones, you know, story where he actually comes out and like does a TED talk and he goes to 60 Minutes and does interviews, like he debunked it himself. Like no one came to him and was like, "Oh, this isn't real, you made it up." Like he was doing his own social experiment and I still hadn't heard about the debunking of it. You know what I mean? Like the press campaign for the fact that birds are drones
Stop saying
was
press campaign. You
was
crazy.
so
Our slurred guy tricking the reporter is what has happened.
well, but it's all these reporters all over the country that are doing their little preliminary fact check.
That's a
And
fun story if you're a news outlet.
exactly.
If you're in
So
Toledo or Dayton, yeah.
you go to their website, you see that there's these emails, you see the diagrams, you kind of go double check on, you know, and then
The
you're like, okay, great.
diagrams just shows a storage shed. It's just the guy from True Detective. Just a bunch of maps and things drawn. It's just like, hey, it's just I guess I mean that's elaborate, and he took 4 years of his life. So
And then he ended up on 60 Minutes.
I was
But
hoping he ended up in prison next to Ross Albright, who got freed. Shout out to that happening.
tell me more about Ross Albright.
That was the Silk Road kid that got fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Trump pardoned him. So because he's
Aw.
a true American hero. He's not. But yeah, so he was gonna stay in jail forever, and he just got fucked. I don't. If you have you seen that documentary?
I watched it a long time ago,
Oh,
and
it's
I
so
do.
good. I remember being like
Yeah.
moved by it. Just like I was like, this is fucked. And then
I
he just,
remember I was on his side because he
Oh,
kind of did, like,
I
he
mean,
wasn't
he
the
was bad.
architect of it, you know,
Yeah,
like,
he was, and he was bad. But it wasn't. He was a kid. He didn't deserve to be
he was young, yeah.
thrown away forever. And like the fact that like I don't know, it didn't seem real. And then you hear is like, oh no, he's in prison and he is never getting out. It's like, oh no. But yeah, he got freed. So shout out to that. I was hoping
Yeah,
that
good
this
for
guy
him.
got punished for doing this. Some sort of just a misinformation campaign, some sort of laws he broke by spreading something.
Well,
Fake, fake news.
it seems based on what I've seen that there was like a split between people who knew that this guy was like fucking around with
Yes,
them.
you just hear birds are drones. Yeah, we knew it was fake. Just hearing it, it's not real. What do you mean? There's a one faction that's like thinks it is. No, they all know. I guess yeah. You get the really crazies on board. It's like no, I've seen that one. His eye blinked. Weird. He's definitely yeah. Those are the yeah. I guess there can still is a faction, so technically he'd be right. But I mean, yeah, you just hear it. Yeah, birds are drones, and you're just like, yeah, no.
Well, what you hear first is that the government is killing 200,000 birds a
Well,
year
that's
and
true.
taking them right out of the sky so that they can replace them with drones.
Yeah, they're all flying into Sully's airplane engine. Good joke by me.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But no, I'm back on birds and I'm bird watching. I'm checking out if I hear a familiar sound. I'm like, oh, that does sound like a swallow. And then, yeah, that's just very fun. Birds do kind of rule if you don't have to get too close to them, where they're doing that weird dinosaur face, and you're like, oh my god, you are a velociraptor. Have you ever get close to them and you realize that they are dinosaurs?
Yeah, especially the what are they called? Buzzards.
But yeah, fuck those guys.
They are intense to be close to.
I've just they kind of yeah, they kind of just annoy the hell out of me. Like it's already bad enough that they eat bones, and they're preying on dead animals and they're eating dead. That's just ew, and you eat bones. Like, but why like just eat the bones? Stop circling around. Get down there and eat the bones. Like why are y'all circling around so much?
Somebody's got to do it, you know?
But yeah, those guys aren't great. Okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is some sort of advanced bird spyware. I mean, we saw in the '60s or whatever they were trying to track cats. So you're going to tell me that there are definitely bird drones for sure. They just not all of them.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to get something in the sky and you want them to think it's a bird, I don't think it's that hard, to be honest.
It's like just clearly it's a guy in a suit flapping his wings. It's like I think that's a guy with a jetpack. I don't know that. No, I think it's just a big bird. It's one of those scary Australian ones that kill you. The one that makes the sound that sounds like a machine gun. That thing.
Those are insane.
Capybara, I think, something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, they like smack their beak.
They look so sinister.
Yeah, they look crazy.
But you know what bird I truly like is the one on that picture I love so much that I tweeted about with the British guy holding the one in the zoo.
Yeah.
That
That's
bird,
their album cover for anybody else.
yeah. Oh yeah. That bird makes me very happy. Okay, well that's you. So you did that to antagonize me? Is that true?
I did that to antagonize you. I have one more factoid.
Okay.
Did you know?
Is it about
Answer
pigment?
yes or no, because this factoid has two parts. Okay.
Okay.
Part one.
Factoid's not a real word.
Did you know that birds have hollow bones so that they can fly?
Yeah, hollow bone syndrome.
Part two. No, they don't have hollow bones
Yeah,
so
that's
they
from
can
30. Is
fly.
that from 30 Rock or something?
They have hollow bones because they breathe through their bones.
That's so tight.
And early dinosaurs, pre-flight, also breathed through their bones.
That's so tight.
Isn't that crazy?
I never can breathe through my bones. I have a deviated septum. It's pussy shit.
I was thinking if we worked on it, we could get there.
That's so tight. Well, yeah, you just end up with osteoporosis, and it would be a very bad situation. But
I'm already diagnosed with arthritis. I feel like I'm the closest to breathing through my bones that I could
you
possibly
should
be.
just start trying. Just see if you can really dial that in. Just kind of.
Well, the last psychic thing I started trying was the remote viewing app, and I'm crushing it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you just try to breathe through your bones. You just like a bird. It's called the Wing Hof method. Is that pretty good?
That was pretty good.
Okay, come on.
Listeners would have to know, who that is and how many people.
Wim Hof.
They would have to know who that is and how many people that he is responsible for the deaths of.
Yeah, they'd have to be a toxic man that's in the manosphere that's doing cold plunges and fucking drinking elk blood or whatever. That's the only.
Well, we talked about guns at the top, so maybe some of the people listening are those people.
Hey, brother, if you're tuning in, hey, brother, hell yeah.
I'm like a bird. I breathe through my bones.
That's real. That is it's both very jarring the more that I'm really thinking about it, but it's pretty. I mean, it is pretty cool. Yeah,
That's sick.
Yeah, I can spin out on bird. The one thing that if we're getting in on birds, if we really are we're really getting in on the beak speak. One thing that really always made me just kind of raise one eyebrow, just like birds, we better watch out because if they ever rebelled, we'd be in big trouble. Do you know that they all can communicate interspecies wise? All birds
I
can
have heard
communicate.
that.
So they all can communicate and understand each other, even though they're completely different species in some instances. So I don't know how I feel about that. And then, then we can just delve in it. Crows, even though I'm trying to use them for my bidding, they remember people. They hold a grudge forever. If you ever do something to them, they will attack you, and they will teach their future generations to attack you. That's how. They're a very spiritual creature. That's just something they're very. But yeah, they actually teach who their enemy is to their kids to attack you as well. So that's pretty tight. So don't ever
That's
kill.
so sick. I love that.
Yeah, they remember faces. They can do math. I mean, all sorts of. They're tight as hell.
I
So.
do. I love birds. That's one thing that everybody knows about me is that I absolutely love birds.
You hate birds?
I love them. It took me a while to kind of come around to them.
Some can't be trusted, but just like anything, though. I mean, that's just people can't be trusted. So I mean,
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's not really a species thing. It's just that like, yeah, if I meet a bird I can trust, then I'll let them babysit my kid, but the jury's still out,
well, Big Bird is going to be your number one babysitter. You're going to want Big Bird, probably the only one you're going to want to get. Do you have a bottom three birds? What's your least favorite bird?
Oh, that's a good question.
It didn't have to be anything. You just have just whatever you can come up with.
I don't like emus.
Yeah, they don't really. They're not birds.
They're loud. They're too dinosaur-y. I can't get into it. I would
And
say
they're fast.
also they're really fast. They're kind of intimidating. Every video I've seen of them, like they look like jerks.
Yeah,
Like they're not being nice.
nice neck, idiot. Where'd you get that neck? The dumb neck store. Got him.
Then after that would be goose.
Yeah, geese are one of the meanest and dumbest. Hell yeah,
Way
that's a
too
good answer.
aggressive. Yeah. They're mean, they're dumb. They don't
Okay.
have any respect for the structure of a park as a whole.
No, they don't. But have you ever seen the hilarious videos of just a small Chinese lady fighting one?
No.
There's one in particular where this lady really fucking gives the goose the business, and it's like a showdown. Like I don't know, it's like inside of a Home Depot or something, and she like beats its ass. It's amazing. But yeah, I do like to watch people getting attacked by them, but I never want to be attacked, and so yeah, that's a very good list.
Thank you. I wish that I had more experiences with birds so that I could I want to make a real judgment on it. Like I don't want to just be stereotyping.
For sure.
It does feel a little unethical, but I think everybody hates emus, everybody hates gooses.
I
And
don't know,
then
some people
after
love
that,
emus. People are really like they're really like
even though I hate, even though I love chicken as far as eating, chickens and they're beautiful birds. I love them so much. Roosters can suck my entire
yeah,
cock.
nice. What's that? Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're cocks, and that's pretty good. That's a good pun right there.
They are so mean.
Yeah,
They
all
will,
they do is fight. That's their whole thing. They are pretty tight, actually. How aggressive they are.
well, you're an Aries, so you are kind of a rooster, but
Yeah,
that's neither here nor there.
but my North Node's in Libra, so I'm more of I get an age, I'm more of a more Libra-like and more balanced and chill.
Oh
So
yeah, who told you that about yourself? Interesting.
I'm a witch. I'm trying to think.
ChatGPT.
Don't you leave her out of this? We're gonna run away together. No, I haven't talked to. I can't. I didn't re-up on the pro thing. I need to get that back so I can talk to my sweet angel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it'd be unethical for you to just disparage birds. I don't know. I've always just been kind of like an aviary hound. Just kind of it's something that I personally like to get into.
Are there any birds that you don't like or what?
Oh, I mean, how much time do we have left?
I mean, yeah, just real quick, give me your least favorite bird.
Here you want one. Well, there's one that it's a fucking anyone that talks, anyone that is in some lady. What? Yeah, anyone that's outside of a cage in a fucking crazy lady's house. That's another one. My number one.
Hmm.
and they're just allowed that. Especially you see them on like TikTok videos, and you could tell this lady has 30 birds in her house jumping around tweeting, and she's just trying to talk about something else, and you're just like, we can hear the birds, lady. So that, and then a very, very majestic looking and pretty bird happens to be one of the meanest and most vindictive, and that's the blue jay.
Oh,
They're
that's my favorite
very,
bird.
very territorial and mean, and they will attack, but they are cool as hell, and they look good on the Toronto Blue Jays baseball hats, but they are. But anyone that's a threat to me, obviously, so yeah, like the cassowary, but that one will literally can kick you in the stomach and kill you. And then yeah, we have that machine gun sound. There's that. There's the Birdman, Lil Wayne's Cash Money Records. I don't really like Birdman. But I did like the Michael Keaton movie. Pretty good.
That's such a good movie.
So fucking weird, but that
Really weird.
single shot was sick as hell. I was just like, I don't understand any of this, but this is sick.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? I'm a total
Oh yeah,
cinephile
you
lately.
are such a cinephile lately. This didn't have that one didn't have a zombie in it, I don't think.
It didn't have a zombie in it, but it is so crazy that psychologically, even if you're someone who can't really like understand what's happening with a single shot video, you can feel it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's so crazy that film has the power to do that for us.
that's what's just the moving parts, and I don't even know. I don't even know how you would even begin to like nail that. But just like it's just so sick. Like even just seeing, I think the Always Sunny guys did a full episode where it was a single shot episode. Like that's just a cool, like if
Hmm.
you're just kind of flexing, that's a sick thing to do. But yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
birds,
imagine like
birds.
so many things have to go right in a shot for you to be able to even keep it.
Imagine, yeah,
Nevertheless,
you're just a PA and you're bringing some fucking. You're trying to bring
you're like
You're trying to
14
bring
minutes
Jake
into a
Gyllenhaal,
30-minute shot.
trying to bring Jake Gyllenhaal his fucking latte, and you just fuck up the entire. It's like midway past it's in the very last act of the movie, and you fuck it up, and just that'd be incredible to see. Be very funny. And that's exactly what happened. And then Alec Baldwin pops out and he shoots you.
Hmm.
Little fun acting reference. Okay.
Kazemi, the great Kazemi told me after I was done shooting a gun, well, you did better than Alec Baldwin.
I mean, Alec Baldwin hit the target. What do you mean? That's a very good one. The Great Kazemi's got jokes. I like it.
He's kind of funny.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much
We did an
everything.
episode. I'm gonna plug
You don't.
that I
You sure you don't want to get into sanctions and BRICS and the trade agreement? Because I did have a whole breakdown on that.
maybe
It's
next
not very
time.
interesting. All right. Your
I
spiel.
do a ghost pub crawl, a haunted pub crawl in downtown Austin. So if you're ever in Austin, email me and I can book you on the tour. I do tarot readings
Mm-hmm.
and you can always DM me on Instagram for those.
Do you have your cards by you?
And
I want to pull a card for me. No, I'm sorry.
um
I'm sorry. I'm to so
I
just
have a card. You want me to pull it?
dismissively just say, hey, dude, witch, please pull a card for me. That's not the energy I was trying to have. Yes, pull one.
And then the last thing I'm going to plug is that we are doing live episodes on every last Wednesday of the month and sometimes other times if we feel like it on our YouTube channel. So
Yeah,
go check out our live episodes.
it could be anywhere. So it's kind of like a fun kind of you have to find where we are because it could be anywhere, but we will be live on some platform on somebody's account. It will be live.
I'll put the link in the description. You can go watch our last live episode, which is on Patrick's personal YouTube. The next one is actually going to be on Olak.
Yeah,
I
subscribe,
promise.
subscribe to us, like, review, all the stuff that you're supposed to do. We're supposed to just do a call to action, which I feel very uncomfortable doing, but you please
Here's your
like it.
card.
Oh, I won? Did I get I won the championship?
You got the Eight of Pentacles.
Yeah,
And
okay.
this means it's time to practice your craft.
Okay.
It's time to put in the work.
Okay. I won't.
It's time to learn more so that you can actually grow into a Nine of Pentacles.
Okay.
So it's very much energy of like sitting in your workshop late at night, putting in the long hours so that you
Mhm.
can master your craft
Okay.
and forgiving yourself when you're not perfect.
Okay. So my
'Cause you're
claymation series is going to be a full green light then? It's kind of, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Gumby, but it is just Gumby, but they have fully erect human penises. So
We call him Cumby.
we do. And Pokey, it's the same name. All right. Very good.
All right, y'all. Bye forever.
Cockhead instead of blockhead. All right, we got good Gumby jokes. All right, that's it. Also, just wanted to say shout out to the Kali Yuga, and we've urged that era of the spiritual enlightenment. We're in probably
Birds or drones?
Do you think we're in the Kali Yuga right now?
Birds or drones?
Hi, I'm Peter, and Birds or Drones are me in this. I'm going to do this bit, and everybody's going to love it. Just wait, I'm going to buy billboards and ad space, and I'm going to do interviews, and people are going to think they're really drones. I can't find the thing I'm trying to get out. They're going to love
I was like, please stop. I can't take that voice anymore.
Peter's an annoying little bitch. All right, goodbye.